stars, welcome back to my channel. It's Dianshi Jamaican, your biggest and brightest shining star. So today's video we're going to be talking about the planets in astrology. Okay, let's just talk about these planets. Alright, because I feel like that's just the most important thing to understand, is that you don't just gotta know your sun sign, you gotta know also all these other planets in the sky. Don't just be oblivious to them. Alright, so let's get it. So you got the sun in astrology means your actions. It's the brightest thing in the sky. It shows how people see you. So that's what the sun means, because when you step outside and you see the sun in the sky, it brightens you up. Like, can't you see? But when it's nighttime, you can't see because the sun ain't in the sky. So boom, the sun in your chart, when you go to Cafe Astrology, you know, you figure out your natal chart and you're looking and it says, oh, what's your zodiac sign? The sun that we all know about. You'll be like, okay, this is how I act because I'm a Leo. So I like all things on me. I like attention. I like treat me like loyalty. I'm the shit because the sun rules Leo. So that's what Leo's like. And if you don't give them attention and you don't reciprocate their loyalty, they're not fucking with you. But the thing is, Leos are so loyal. So if you're in a relationship with a Leo, honey, they got you for life. Like, they ain't letting you go. Like, Leos are fixed. Like, they are fixated on someone that they love. And that's one thing you need to know about people. So when you have a Leo in your life, like my sister is a Leo, so I know her, like, she's very like fixed in love and she's loyal as fuck. Like, she's loyal to the people that she loves, and I respect that about Leos. They definitely fixated on everything that they are, and that's dope. So Leos, the sun rules Leo, and yeah, that's just the sun in astrology. It rules your actions. It rules how people see you. When you get up and what do you want to do every day? Like, that's what the sun does. It shows you. It's bright. You know, it's bright. So it shows you something, and it's your actions. It's what people can see. And if you see yourself, if you're a Leo and you don't see yourself acting like a Leo, you're gonna not be feeling in alignment with yourself, because you're like, okay, this is not how I'm supposed to be seeing myself. So boom, the sun is your actions and how you see yourself and how others see you. So jumping on to the next planet is the moon. Okay, so what the moon means is who you are. The moon is who you are. The moon is your emotional self, like how you emotionally feel, how you like to connect, and who you are, and where you go when you want to be when you are to yourself. The moon is just like the nurturing aspect of life. The moon controls the water on the planet. We all know this. If you went to school. If you didn't know, now you know. Hey, you know very well who you are. Yes. The moon shows you who you are. So when you tap into that energy and you figure out what sign your moon is, it'll tell you exactly what kind of person you are. So just to give an example of the signs, I'm gonna just tell you what the moon rules, okay? So the moon rules Cancer. Hey, my moon's in Cancer. So the moon is at home in Cancer. The moon does what it wants in Cancer. The moon is at home in Cancer. So everything that the moon represents, Cancer would represent that same archetype. That same archetype will come alive with Cancer. Cancerian people, they love, they're caring, they're nurturing. Cancers are they're pretty for the most part. They're pretty nice, but they're very emotional people, because the moon deals with your moods. It deals with your emotions. So these people could be criers, but they won't show it to you though, because the moon and Cancer, remember, the Cancer represents the crab. So the crab is hard on the outside. They ain't gonna show you that they are hurting, but they are, because they're very mushy on the inside. And they do this because they want to like protect everything. They don't want to expose it all out, because they'll feel like people, it would mess up the mushy inside, and they don't want that. so they keep a hard shell like the crab. That's why I kind of look kind of hard, but I be crying when I got to. Okay. Shoot. Don't play. Cancers are very emotional. I gotta charge my battery. Hold on, let me switch it. So the moon basically means how you gain emotional stability within yourself. It also represents the relationship that you have with your mother. So whatever moon sign that you have, it'll show the relationship that you have with your mom, and just basically how you react to things on a day-to-day basis. So the moon is very important to understand. It's probably the most important satellite, I would say, that you need to understand. It definitely helps you to tap into astrology much deeper if you understand your moon sign. Yes, definitely the moon sign is something that you need to get a grasp on, because it shows you, because your sun already shows you your actions, but you need to know how you're gonna react to when people got you fucked up, or when people saying something and how you gonna feel, how you gonna be in emotional stability with yourself when somebody come for you, how you gonna react. And that's, you might not truly know how, but say you go and you find out that, oh, that sign is in my moon sign. That sign is my moon sign. Say you got Pisces in the moon, then you're gonna be super wanting to connect with people all the time, and very nice and passive, but still friendly, and definitely someone that likes to indulge and have a good time, and probably they might be a pothead, or they might be alcoholics. They like to turn up, like they like to feel good, they like to go with the wave. Like that's how moon and Pisces people are. They're cool, because it's still a water sign. Pisces is a water sign, and Cancer is a water sign as well. The moon rules Cancer. Cancer, if it deals with the water, so that all deals with emotions. Like the sun and fire, the sun is a fire element, so that deals with actions. Like you can see it, like it's like, so there's different elements in astrology too. It's not just about like the planets and stuff. You got different like elements. So when you really break that down, you'll figure out like, oh, okay, you got your moon is like in a fire sign. Then you'll be like, okay, the moon in fire, that kind of, it's not so, because it's different, so because the moon is already a water element, so that's going to create some kind of like steamy energy, because you're putting water, the moon, which is a watery kind of satellite. Then you got fire going on in there, so you got Aries in there, so you might react kind of like direct, and your reactions might be very like bitch, what, saying things they don't give a fuck, like what's good, Cardi B has the moon in Aries, so you can like kind of understand the kind of energy. Aries is a masculine kind of energy. I have my Mercury in Aries, so that's why I be like coming like at you, and I be just talking off the mouth, because it's like really direct, and they just say whatever comes to their head, and they don't care. My Mercury's in Aries, is placed in the 5th house, so that's why I'm like doing this shit's creative to me. So yeah, so that's basically like what that means. Like your moon sign is just gonna show you how you react, and the moon spends 2.5 days in each sign. So like I was saying, when you go in your chart, the moon switches 2.5 days. So for 2.5 days, it's gonna be in Taurus, which is it's exalted in Taurus. So if the moon's in Taurus, then it's gonna be good energy. The moon likes to be in Taurus. It's the best when it's in Taurus. So if you have a moon in Taurus, your moon sign is very good, because the moon likes to deal with nurturing and water. The moon and Taurus is an earth element, so it likes to nurture that relationship, and it builds something that's very beautiful. So that's why the moon is exalted in Taurus. So there's just different like things. So then we have Mercury, like I was just talking about. Mercury is a dope ass planet, because Mercury is closest to the sun. So Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. So sometimes you'll meet someone's Mercury before you meet their sun sign, like you met my Mercury. If you met me on YouTube, you met my Mercury before you met my sun sign, because Mercury deals with communication and how you analyze stuff, how you communicate, how you process information, how you take in information. Mercury also rules like your nervous system. It rules this area, the throat. Mercury's energy is all about curiosity and thinking and wanting to analyze and understanding. That's why Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini, because they like to, you know, be super curious. Some of them might be they might get anxiety because of, you know, how they be acting kind of nervous and all that shit, because that's what Mercury rules. I was just talking about that in my paranoia and anxiety video. That's very beautiful. You guys should definitely go check that out if you got that shit, because if you're watching this video, I know you got some kind of issues going on mentally, because I'm telling you, when you really tap into stuff like this, you're gonna be thinking like, damn, why ain't nobody else talking about shit like this? But guess that's why I'm here. But like I was saying, Mercury just deals with, you know, yeah, you probably heard of Mercury before, like, oh, Mercury is in retrograde. I don't know if you've ever heard that term before, but people are like, oh, Mercury is in retrograde. And sometimes what that means is like when you step outside and you look around and you see Mercury like in the sky. When you see those stars in the sky, I'm gonna just point this out, because I call you guys my all stars, because I want you guys to know that we're all stars. Like, we're all like stars, like we're energy. Like all these planets that you see, they're stars in the sky. They're planets, they're stars in the sky. So when you step outside and you look and you see Mercury, you'll be like, oh, it's going backwards. It just looks from where we're standing, it looks like it's going backwards. Just so they call it Mercury retrograde, and the energy moves within you just like that. So you might have to go and like reanalyze things. Mercury's in retrograde right now. So this is very interesting for me, because I have my Mercury in the 5th house and my channel has taken a very new turn. So it's very interesting. Mercury in retrograde has been very interesting for me. So yes, definitely Mercury rules curiosity. I told you the signs it rules, just basic stuff about that. Then we going into Venus. I'm gonna talk about Venus. Goddess of love and beauty, talking about Venus, talking about Venus. My Venus is exalted in Pisces. Yes, I have an exalted Venus, so it's kind of a good thing, but it's like kind of not. So I'm just gonna talk about Venus. Let's go. So Venus is the planet of love, harmony, beauty, pleasure, how you love someone. Like if you go in your birth chart and you figure out like, oh, what sign your Venus is in, then you'll be like, oh, that's how I love. Like it shows you like how you love. If you're a guy, you'll want to find out like what your Venus sign is, because it'll show you the kind of girl that you would attract, like the kind of girls that you like. Like I had an ex-boyfriend, his Venus was in Taurus and I'm a Taurus. So it because you know, Venus is like the womanly energy. It rules like entertainment, like love and hip hop, like shows like that you want to like just love and romance and wedding rings and wedding dresses, like beautiful flowers. Like Venus rules beauty, love, art, everything that's like beauty. Like so having an exalted Venus, I understand. Like people, I'm very artistic, I'm very creative, I'm very beautiful. Like I'm not trying to, you know, boost my ego, but I know my planet, so I'm just letting you guys know. So Venus like rules like all that stuff. Like I was saying, if you're a guy, like the kind of girl that you like, it would tell you like, you know, because guys more express their Mars sign, which I'm about to talk about. Guys more express their Mars sign, and Mars is more like aggression. So guys are more in touch with their Mars, but women are more in touch with their Venus. So the guys are just going to attract the type of sign or the type of energy that he has. Says the guy has his Venus in Gemini, he gonna like a girl that's a Gemini, or someone that likes to communicate. You maybe, I don't know, maybe you know a Virgo. Like it don't really matter. You know, the thing about astrology is like, if a guy got his Venus in Gemini, but he's attracted to a Gemini, the girl might not even be, her sun sign may not even be Gemini. Her moon sign could be Gemini. so she'll still have the Gemini traits. That's why it's always important to know all the different planets, because it's like they all mean something different. So that's what that's about. So then Venus also rules, yeah, like romance, you know, love, poetry. So yeah, basically like Venus rules your values, like how you value something. Like, what do you value? I always tell people that Venus rules that, because it's like, you know, it's not just about like what you love, but it's like what do you really value. So the signs that you got in that planet would definitely break down a lot of things to you. You know, Venus is peacemaking, like I said. It rules Taurus and Libra, and it also rules, it's exalted in Pisces, and it falls in Scorpio. So if you have a Venus in Scorpio, your Scorpio is kind of like, you kind of don't show love that well, you know. So it's kind of like definitely interesting to tap into all these different energies. The next planet I'm going to talk about is Earth. So Earth in astrology, a lot of people just, when they talk about astrology, just make it seem like Earth is just not even a planet like whatsoever. Like it don't even like correlate to what's going on, and it's just like it does. Because if you are naive to Earth as its own planet, then you're just naive as fuck. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because Earth has like its own energy. And so you know how like you're on Earth, so everything here is physical. You know, you can see everything, you can see light, you can see everything, you can change your hair color, you can like do your makeup, you can do all these things because it's physical. You can work out, you can change your body so you can look good. If you want a big ass, you can go get it, injections, and you can do all these different things. That's what Earth does. It's about growth, it's about nurturing. On Earth, you can plant a seed. You can't plant a seed on Mercury. You can do it in your head, you can like in a different way, but not like you ain't gonna physically, like I'm saying the word physically, like physically feel these different, the earth element on these other planets. You're not gonna feel it. So it's definitely different. The only way you're gonna tap into it is by going within and understanding their energies separately, and stop thinking that, oh, you can fly to these planets and really live on them, because you can only like live on Earth. So it's like you can't really think that, oh, I'm gonna physically have an experience in these outer realms, because it's not gonna happen. So basically when you think about that, you're like, all right, so Earth, you have physical life and you're manifesting stuff. You can grow something, you can start a business. Earth is about like routine, day-to-day basis, developing something, structuring something. That's where Taurus comes in. Taurus is an earth sign, and Capricorn is an earth sign. And what's another earth sign? Capricorn, Taurus. I'm tripping. And Virgo is an earth sign. So these people are more practical people. Like they know how to get up every day and do something practically, and they know how to stick to a routine day to day. It's just the type of energy. Not all Tauruses are like this, depending on like the kind of energy that they got going on in their chart. But say they got a lot of Pisces or something, like your girl, so it's like different kind of things going on with that. So definitely Earth means like growth and finding stability and structuring something and planting something and growing and having a baby and like developing life and acquiring materials, like physical things, like I was mentioning, like having physical pleasure, eating food, like having plants and all these things. Like that's what Earth is. It's about like growth. Like you can grow. You can see a baby come out the womb and grow. Have you ever figured out why they've never figured out why there's life on other planet? Is because it only can happen on Earth, in the realm of reality that we live in. So that's why it's like that. Now you have, all right, so Mars like I was talking about, Mars is the planet of aggression and like willpower and fighting for something and being aggressive. And so when you think of this, you think of pure masculine energy, and masculine energy comes from, you know, like men are masculine. So, and what else is everything that's masculine? You have sports. So it's funny because when people think of Aries, or they think that they're like super athletic, but that's not true. But that's just the type of energy that Mars carries. It carries that will, that passion, that drive, that like push to go out and get something done and do it and get down with it. That's what Mars is about. And so when you think of that, you also think about sex too, because it's like, okay, in sex, that's what you do. It's a drive. Like, you even have the word sex drive. Like, so the sign that your Mars is in, it tells you how you are in bed. It tells you how you would react and how you know. So if you do your synastry chart with someone else, like that means like putting someone else's chart next to your chart and figuring out how the energies align with each other, you'll figure out how you guys are in bed with each other based upon like certain angles and like, you know, things are going. And that's just real shit. Like, your Mars tells you how you are in bed. So if you want to know how you are in bed, like, and you've always like wondered and you want to like really perfect it, or like just think, oh, why is that person different than me than how I am, is to go figure out what sign your Mars is in, because that tells you like how you are, like aggressively, and how you go ahead when you want something and your drive for something and your passion for something. Like, how do you go get it? Like, is your Mars exalted? Is it in Aries? Do you got the passion to do that shit every day? Like, is you like a Taurus, where you kind of move slow, you kind of need material things, it kind of gets debilitated a little bit, you gotta add more to it to make it more, like you gotta, is it in a water sign where it's kind of passive, like you kind of, your intentions aren't like super out there, you don't really have a lot of goals, or you kind of just more chill, or like is you know, like what is it in, like what kind of sign and element is it in? Because Mars is a fire planet, red hot fire planet. So it deals with fire. So it's important to just understand what kind of energy is going on with the sign that your planet Mars is in. So Jupiter is the planet of wisdom, knowledge, understanding, the higher spiritual realm, the grandfather of life, the wisdom you receive from a very young age, the things and trials and tribulations you've been through in your life, if you make sure so you understand where you go when life I teach you something you probably don't want to learn, but you have to learn, because if you don't learn, you're not gonna understand life. And that Jupiter mean, that's what Jupiter means. You, whatever sign Jupiter is, whatever house it's in, whatever lesson it teaches you, it depends on what sign you got in it. It depends on like how it is. Is your Jupiter good? Is it bad? But when I say good or bad, that doesn't mean good or bad, because Jupiter is the planet of teaching you something. So it's always going to teach you something at the end of the day. So it's going to be positive. Jupiter is a positive planet, even if the situation is bad, because you learned something from it. So Jupiter is a positive planet overall. It's jovial. That's why Sagittarius rules Sagittarius and Pisces. So these people are very jovial, upbeat. I have a Sagittarius rising. I have Jupiter in Pisces, so my Jupiter is doing okay. It's in Pisces in the 4th house, but it's doing okay. It's doing okay. First house lower than the 4th house. Hey. Anyway, so redirecting my life. I need more lip gloss. Hold on. Alright, so Jupiter is basically like knowledge, and like I said, so you want to really figure out like Jupiter some more. go in depth with it, because you'll definitely learn a lot about Jupiter by researching the sign you got. And if you know what time you were born, you can figure out what house it's in, and that just makes everything unfold into something much more beautiful than you would ever imagine. All right, so Saturn, the planet with the rings, May I reiterate, people, earthlings, that these planets are visual by eyes. You can see them when you look up. They are stars in the sky, okay? Don't forget my all-stars. Hey, all-stars. Comment down below in my comment section if you guys are my all-stars or not, because I just want to know, because I really like that name for my supporters, and I'm just gonna call it what it is. You're my all-stars. All right, comment down below. Is you an all-star? All right, so Saturn rules stability, structure, work, building something, seeing something through time and experience. Saturn is a planet that drags shit the fuck out. Okay, I have my Saturn in the 5th house, so yes, my Saturn is in Aries. So Saturn basically just like we live in a Saturnian matrix, okay? Everything that we do is Saturnian like. Very much so. Very much so. The routines, the structuring, the building, like everything that goes on is all Saturn energy. The seriousness of everything. How everything is just, and you gotta like constantly do something over and over and over to see results. That's what life is, you know. It's basically like that. It's like, and then I'm gonna do a whole separate video on Saturn just itself, because it's a very important planet to know about, seriously, because it rules time and it rules like how everything is structured on Earth. But moving on, I'm just gonna, because I don't want this video to be like hella long, but so I'm just gonna, you know, just basically bringing up the planets and just telling you, go look at the sign. Saturn is a it doesn't reflect light. There's no light on Saturn at all, so it doesn't reflect light. Saturn don't care about like anything that does with how you look. It just cares about the work. So Saturn don't give a fuck if I look hella cute in this video. My Saturn in the 5th house just cares that I create the video and then I put it out and I publish it. That's all it cares about, and it cares that I keep doing it over and 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 over until I get somewhere. That's what Saturn does. So it's hard to deal with your Saturn sometimes. And then you have a Saturn return, and so Saturn goes back into the sign that you were born, and that's when you're around 28 to 30 years old. So you know, have a Saturn return, and you deal with the issues of Saturn, and it's back home in your sign. So you kind of develop more spiritually, you understand the energies of Saturn, and you figure it out. All right. Okay, so on to one of the most coolest planets in astrology is Uranus. Uranus is a very cool planet because it is a generational planet, for one. So since we're getting more further out into the planets in the sky, some of them don't affect us as much as the ones that are much closer to the sun. So like your Mercury, you know, it deals with your communication, so that's why you'll see it much faster sometimes than you'll see the sun, because it's still really fast and small and it rotates really fast. So when you go further out and you get to Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, some of those energies, those planets, you have generational signs, so they don't rotate as often as the ones closer in our solar system. They don't rotate as often. So your Uranus sign will be like every couple years with you and your generation. And then Uranus rules your rebellion, change, and everything like unconventional. It's like the weirdo sign. It's like Aquarius. Like, you know, very Aquarius people are very kind of, they're unique and original. They're not weird. they're unique and original people. So that's why, and it's because they're ruled by the planet Uranus, their sun sign, and their actions and what you see from them is ruled by Uranus. And Uranus deals with changing stuff and rebelling and opposing against stuff and making stuff radical and being new and different and owning that and not being afraid to go against the grain. That's what Uranus is all about, and it's a generational. So that's why your generation might act like this, and then the next generation change because it goes into a different sign and they act like this and you're like, what? And then it goes into a different sign and then a few more generations and you're like, what? Why they act like this? And it's because of their Uranus sign. So different people are born in different times, and this a generational planet. And then you got Neptune, is also a generational planet. Neptune is like, Neptune rules Pisces, and it's all about like spirituality. It's all about like higher knowledge of stuff, understanding things from a broad and spiritual realm, and tapping into the subconscious and dealing with all that stuff. So that's what Neptune is about. It's about creativity, dreams, illusions. Neptune will rule like fame. You know, like a lot of celebrities have a lot of Neptunian energy, or they just, you know, their Neptune might be in a very personal house. You know, just different things. They might have an exalted Neptune or something. But it's still a generational planet, but nevertheless, it could be in a personal planet, like I said. Those drugs, you know, like drinking, alcohol, the outer realms, like all that stuff, tapping into the unconscious, the subconscious, like feeling everything that Pisces is, and a little bit of Sagittarius is. Everything that Pisces is, you think of like creativity, illusions, Instagram, filters, all those things, phones, like yeah, like stuff like that, like, you know, just makeup, illusions, yeah, makeup is a Neptunian energy. Makeup, Neptune rules makeup and all that stuff, the illusion of this, and creativity, you know, everything's an illusion. You know, all the shit I post on, all the shit people post on social media, editing stuff, making it look good, it's all an illusion. It's not real. You know, so someone literally just thought of something and willed it into existence. Probably got it from Neptune. Probably got their ideas, higher ethereal realms of ideas and consciousness and creativity and feeling and expressing. That's what Neptune's about. Then you got Pluto. And these planets are, like I said, are planets that are kind of not so close. So they're not felt as deeply. You'll feel much more of that energy through Jupiter more than you feel it through Neptune. But like I said, it's still a generational planet. So you and your generation might kind of have like the same spiritual beliefs. Basically is what it will boil down to. So then you have Pluto. So Pluto is like the god of the underworld. Pluto rules everything that's unseen, unknown, things that you have to really dig deep about. And it's also about like renewal and rebirth and changing something and really digging deep to understand things. It's about like the mystery of life. It's that deep energy. Like, we always wonder what the fuck is going on with Pluto. Is it a planet or is it not? Like, it's always that question in your head. Like, that's the kind of energy Pluto carries. It's this far out there energy. People that have Pluto in the first house like me are very out there. Very much so. They're like gone out there. Like, sometimes you'll be like, what the fuck? That's just the energy that Pluto carries. But it's not something that's like bad or nothing. Pluto rules Scorpio. So if you know any Scorpios, they're ruled by Pluto. That same archetype that they have will play out into who Plutos are. They're very like secretive kind of people. You know, I mean, Scorpios are, they're very like secretive kind of people. You know, they'll really analyze you real deep, and it's kind of like this overall energy. Like, it's on my face, it's on my personality, because it's in my first house. So it's like that. Like, a lot of Scorpio risings have like very deep piercing eyes, like And I have it too, because I have my Pluto in the first house. That's why I'm like, do one of this, and it's like, and it's, that's low-key my face. Like, I ain't even gonna lie. When I be out flexing, I be like, I'm goofy. Pluto also rules power and control, so wanting to be powerful and having feelings of power and control issues, feeling like you may not be in control or being over controlling of others. And it's also about transformation. So wherever Pluto is in your chart is where you want to transform. So I have Pluto in my first house, so I transform a lot in front of people. Like, I can't hide it. Like, Pluto's a planet that's very far out there, but for me it's like right on my ascendant, so it's my personality. So I change every so often. Like, I'll be into something new, or I'll like reinvent myself, but it's always something that I've always wanted to do. At the end of the day, it's like a deep, like, inner, like, I'm gonna do that one day, and I'm gonna build myself up so I can just finally just like and do it. That's how my Pluto in the first house acted for me. So those are the planets. So make sure that you like this video, subscribe to this channel if you like it, and make sure that you go ahead and share this video. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Mwah.